Greetings one and all, it is the Long Con here once again, bringing you more tales of hot, steamy action in the world of tanks. That's right folks, Update 3.3 Typhoon has come and gone like the wind. I am happy to report that the changes to the game have been mostly beneficial. I'm absolutely in love with the Armor Inspector and the Module Inspector that they've incorporated by access of our triangle button, which I believe on the Xbox would be the... I can't remember. Not important, we're playing PlayStation, right? You're going to notice there's a lot of UI changes to the garage. They finally got rid of that awful neon green awfulness that was going on over on the right hand side with all the stats, and they've changed the categories as well. Additionally, once you press triangle on your PlayStation controller, whatever the approximate northbound button is on the Xbox controller, you're going to be given this menu. On Super Test, I originally was like, where the hell's the armor at? And then a week went by, and we got back into the server, and I was like, oh, L1R1, duh. There's the armor up there. Anyway, forgiving my ignorance, as I was quite taken by the module profiler, I finally discovered the armor profiler. And this is what we've been needing. Oh my god, it's so much better than that screen, which would just give you, 120 millimeters of frontal armor, or 90 millimeters of side armor. And it's like, okay, well, alright, well, what does that mean? You know, it's like here you can actually go and you can look at spaced armor, you can look at the amount of armor that your tracks give you, you can look at your actual side armor, you can look at all the complexities of armor overlappings that you have going on, and then within each category of the color scale, there's a gradient in each one of those, ranging from, say here we're looking at 71 to 90 millimeters, or now 91 to 120. There's going to be a gradient in there reflecting the difference in armor thicknesses across that plane. Here we see it a little bit on either side of the turret. We'll get another shot of that back. But this gives a much clearer idea of what our armor is and how we can most effectively use it. Going back to that gradient here, you can see quite clearly there are two different color shades within this this category right here on the Conqueror's turret. So, hey, you know what? Starboard side of the turret, underneath what I assume is the gunner's periscope, is significantly tougher than the other side. Port side? Yeah, we'll go with port. Come one and all and see World of Tanks' amazing Technicolor Armor Inspector, guaranteed to give you a clearer picture of what the fuck is going on. So back to the Conqueror and the matter at hand, which is ultimately the grind of the Chieftain. As soon as I found out through Super Test that the Chieftain was coming down the pipe, I bought myself a Conqueror, as I had had it researched for quite some time through the Carnarvon, which is an amazing tank, and I'll have some videos of that at some point in time. But I was a little apprehensive, as I had the Conqueror on the Xbox, and back then it didn't have the turret buff that it received a few patches ago, which made the front of this tank just absolutely indomitable. Previously, you just couldn't get into a nose-to-nose fight with another heavy tank, or say like a Jaeger Tiger downrange. It's just not something that you could do more often than not. You would get pinned straight through your turret cheeks on all that sloping armor that slides down from the commander's cupola. It was not good. It's worth mentioning that these high-tier British tanks have an awesome synergy across the board and work really well together in platoons. It's difficult to describe if you've never really done it, but the Centurions are tough, good, hold-down monsters, and then when you roll in these Conquerors behind him with that 120 millimeter gun, it just fills out like that heavy medium roll and gives so much more weight to the group. The Conqueror gets a couple of good guns. You get the 20-pounder B-barrel if you have it researched straight away, which is a really, really great gun. And as you can see here, it has some amazing numbers. Really, the only thing that sucks about it is the alpha damage. It's a little bit low for a heavy tank, especially at tier 9. But you eventually research the L1A1 120 millimeter, and it is epic. In addition to all of its completely awesome accuracy and aim time stats, it has incredibly good dispersion values that allow this tank to be lethal on the move and during snapshot moments. whipping that turret around and getting that shot off into somebody while you're going 35 kilometers an hour over terrain. It's just epic. This is an amazing tank, and I'm absolutely sold. Now, I've got numerous games here I'm going to show you guys. I'm fast-forwarding to the heavy bits. And my friend Diz and I here are on Fisherman's Bay. And I just wanted to do this one first. These aren't in chronological order. But just to demonstrate the sheer magnitude of the armor buff that this tank received. Diz and I hold down this corner like gods this game. And currently, you know, like I'm getting beat up. I just had to burn my large repair kit to fix my ammo rack. I decided to reel it in, get back behind the corner a little bit more so. There's a tiger or a hammer. A hammer? I don't know. One or the other. So many of them now. Who kind of had me, and I was ignoring him at first, but it's always best when you're in a situation like this to isolate your line of fire to a singular opponent. That way, you're not getting shot at by 4 or 5 tanks, and you're just getting shot at by one. In this instance, you know, I'm a tier 9 heavy tank, and he's a tier 7, and I'm just going to dominate. He's not going to be able to get through my incredibly awesome armor unless he hits my cupola, which, you know, even against his gun is going to stand a decent chance of bouncing shots. Oh, I shank a shot there, like trying to beat out that other tank. Better to bounce the shot and not hit than take more damage, I suppose. Oh, that tiger gets through me. So yeah, you must be wondering what I was talking about with the armor. Well, it's coming, don't worry though. It's coming. E75 and the 45B are pushing us real hard around this corner. We're getting beat up. Getting real beat up. I switched to APCR to deal with this 45B, just knowing that I need to deal with him. And these things frontally are extremely tough. Oh, but he bounces a shot off me with his 128mm German gun with 246 millimeters of penetration, 248, something like that. And he's dead. Diz was helping me DPM him down. Bounce a shot, bounce a shot, bounce a shot. Trifecta. All you fuckers are empty. And I'm gonna fucking murder your asses down to nothing. Diz picks up the kill there. Way to go, Diz. Tiger 2. Get one straight through the front of his turret. Barely snaking under the E75's gun, which is awesome. He's using the stock turret. You can see he's got the L7188. He plants one straight through my cupola. But I get one straight back into the front of his turret and do more damage. He's real beat up. Bounces another one off of me, straight through his upper glacis. And this gun's 400 average damage. It's just huge. And the rate of fire, 5.71 rounds a minute, I think it is. And I'm using a gun rammer, and I have brothers in arms on this crew as well as vents. So I'm pushing an additional 20% to my rate of fire out. It's just epic. This gun is just amazing. It's accurate. It's fast firing. It does decent damage, not as much as a German 128 or a Russian 122, but damn near as much, and the rate of fire compensates for the lack of alpha. We just want to hold out against these tanks. I finally go down, but we completely jammed up that corridor, and you know, with it, a couple of tier 9 heavies that got wiped out. I'm dead. I had a good game though. I'm not disappointed in any way, shape, or form. We've got Diz here with his 2 stripes. Plugs a shot into that guy. Homeboy gets killed by somebody else, and well, the team winds down. The light tank manages to live, and of course the brave base cappers managed to finish the base. But look, I blocked 4,300 damage with this thing, and that was something that was not possible before the turret buff. Everything would just go through your turret cheeks, and now the turret is tough. It is so. So I've got another game here on Corellia. It's a tier 9 game. I'm with my friends Pow and Boogie. Pow's in the Centurion 7-1 and Boogie's in the Waffentrager off 4. We split up a little bit. Boogie goes to the south flank to try to hold up, do the tank destroyer thing, while Pow and I push the north flank through all this new terrain that we got on Corellia recently. And our team is just dropping like flies here. And we don't run into anybody up here, like no resistance whatsoever. We're down 3 tanks. 4 tanks, 5 tanks. Third of our team is dead, and they've only managed to kill 1 Object 416 on the other side. Pow and I have yet to run into any resistance over here. Okay, starting to catch some people at the base. It's an E75 back there? What? I pick up this artillery here, and I stop to aim a shot at him so I can finish him off, right? But, of course, my shot goes wide, and I hit his tracks, leaving him immobile. He takes a hit, and wouldn't you know, go figure, I just auto-aim here, and, well, snapshot on the move. It's a laser beam, and just blows his ass straight out of the water. So he pulled a couple of kills back, including one of the artilleries, and we are on a hard charge here to get at the base and start doing damage, but our team is just buckling under the weight of everything else that managed to go to the other side. Now that this Conqueror can stand up and take a fight, though, it's a lot more capable of going toe-to-toe with base camping E-75s. I do take a couple of hits here through my side just because my angle was bad. T-29 got me there, as well as that IS, but Pau picks up the kill right before I get my shot off. Good form, good form. As soon as I saw these two E-75s over on their base, I immediately felt better about being so disengaged for so long, seeing as how two of their top-tier, super badass, kick-butt tanks were sitting back at their spawn. You know, like you do when you don't have a fucking clue about what to do with your heavy tanks. And these guys, they're going to be in E-100s someday, so you can count on them doing this shit in their E-100s too. Hey, you're dead. Let's go kill this other E-75 driver that was just completely cowardly and let his friend die. Here I come, buddy. Here I come. Oh, you bounce one and I shank you. Now this is just auto-aim, just doing the driving, let my turret do the tracking on the target here. I maybe rely on this too much sometimes, but in some instances it's just the thing to do. So he's dead. We pulled back a whole lot of kills. Boogie's dealing with a whole lot of weight up on that north flank still, and I want to get back to him, but I'm taking fire from the southern flank as well as the hill. Draw bead on this IS-3. I really want to finish him off, but he gets into cover. So I ignore him, and I push south to sweep out these tanks in the rear. Granted, they're tier 7s, but they gotta die, right? Time to do the tier 9 thing and clean up shop, man. We're just down to our platoon and our 2 artilleries. Team completely buckled under the weight of the onslaught up the canal along the eastern flank of the map. Boogie finally goes down, but Pau had returned to that flank to try to give him some covering fire, and Pau is cleaning up the scraps over there. Centurions are good for, you know, doing that medium to long range cleanup work. Just a couple of tanks left here. There's that IS-3 on the hill. I saw an Su-152 over here that I'm anxious to get after and kill. Definitely don't want to leave these tanks with opportunities to shoot me in the side or the rear because they are capable of dealing a lot of damage. Oh, and this IS-3 driver just doesn't have a clue. Get a high roll into him. He gets one into me, and artillery finishes him. So hey, there you go. Good shooting, Artie, I guess. Where's that SU at? He was hiding up here somewhere, right? Oh, there he is. No, and I snapshot and hit his gun mantlet, but he bounces off my tracks. Cool. I'll take it. I'm behind him. He's done. Just a matter of getting the shots into him. There's a big one. One more ought to do it. One more is gonna do it. Oh, what? Wow, I glanced off of his back armor. That's amazing. Conqueror only has negative 7 degrees of gun depression, so it's not terrible, but it's not great. Pau and I managed to clean up the last 2 tanks almost on top of each other and completely walk that game back from an utter ass-kicking defeat to a victory. Hey, and you know what? I did almost 5,000 damage. I blocked a fair amount of damage as well. Picked up some good assists. Pushed the old damage standing up higher. Got a Devastator. Yeah, not a bad game at all. Pau had a pretty good game as well. Boogie got rolled, you know, in his thinly skinned tank destroyer, but still managed to account for himself. And yeah, if it weren't for the artillery in our platoon, that would have been an outright loss. What a bunch of toads. Ugh, these people. Now I've got one more game here, and this is on Miravenka. I'm once again running with Pau, as he was in the 7-1 trying to grind up to the FE-4202 before it got replaced by the Action 10. Yeah, so what I like to do on Miravenka is push the eastern flank, clinch the eastern flank, and then sweep hard into that corridor over on the west and just spank all those tanks that get held up. We run into a paltry defense force on this eastern flank. This M103 goes up, you know, hey, I got your back, buddy, I'm with you. Let's kill this T-32, right? Done a little bit of damage to him. Gets one into him, and T-32 is dead. This T-54 now is by himself, and while there is an M103 a little bit to the north of us, he's completely disengaged, and this 54 is just toast. Completely toasted. I don't manage to get another shot into this guy. I reload just after he gets killed. But, hey, you know what? I got one ready for that M103, and it's time to turn him inside out, folks. Right into that lower glacis is where you want to go if they're giving it up. If you've got enough pin, you can go through the upper glacis as well of an M103. Their armor is pretty weak, much like the T-29. So he's gone. Pow picks up the kill there with his 20-pounder. So we've clinched the eastern flank, and we're now pushing hard into the west. Gonna stop to take some shots at some people along the way. That damn Patton moved right as I pulled the trigger, but so it goes sometimes. See if we can pick up that artillery on our way over. Oh, there he is. Oh, and snapshot. Somebody hits him for a little bit of his health, and then I managed to finish him off with my 120mm round of fuck you. Get the fuck off the board, Artie. Go play a real tank. I get a little gun shy here when I get detected and I back off. I don't want to get spanked by something that I can't see. Lose my detection and pull right back up. Oh, there's that Patton again. I'm going to get a shot into him this time for sure. There it is, damaging his ammo rack, so that's good. Hey buddy, guess what? Your flank is collapsing. You might want to hide. Okay, so he's gone now. Get on the stick and fire it back into drive. These British heavies don't have much in the way of top speed, but they've got great mobility. Conqueror cruises around about 35, just like the Carnarvon before it. It has a pretty decent power-to-weight ratio and will maintain decent speeds uphill, provided the gradient isn't too extreme. But cross-country, British heavies and British mediums work really well together, as their mobility numbers are about on par with one another. So the mediums tend to get there a little bit ahead of the heavies, but the heavies are there just afterwards and ready to start doing some damage with their bigger guns. Well, in the case of the Conqueror, I guess the Carnarvon only uses a 20-pounder, but still, high rate of fire. Now, we get a shot into this off-4, and I immediately switch to Hesh. You always want to shoot Hesh at these things if you've got it on board. And actually, if you're using a British tank that can equip Hesh, you should definitely keep it, because there. Over 500 damage, and I shredded his gun. Yes. Shoot at tanks with no armor with Hesh. Oh, and I miss him. Oh, what a bastard. He's going to get cleaned up before I get a shot. I switch back to AP, and Pow finishes him off. I think maybe Pow had called it, which is why I switched ammunition and got ready to shoot at heavily armored tanks again. Get one into the back of the T-10, damaging his radio, I believe that was. So, yeah, I mean, not like it really matters at this point, but hey, there's your radio. And here we have a dithering T-34. Get one into him, knock his engine out. Yeah, we're going to get another one into him here, and I believe that's it. Another high roll. Yeah, you can't complain, really. Another stomping game. Only took a little bit of damage, got a couple of kills, did a lot of damage in return. Such a great tank. So many great games. I literally had about a dozen games in this tank saved, and it was just a matter of trying to find the best ones. It's important to not lose sight about what all these really awesome games in the Conqueror were really about. They're all just stepping stones towards this next creature, right? Oh man, we're all so excited. Can you believe it? Let's just take a look here and see what's what. Chieftain, huh? 783 free XP? Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. I've got some video coming, folks. Mother of God.